Welcome to Stands to Reason. My name is Dan and I will be your host for this video. This is part 2 of Gravity and the Gravity Interlock. The first part 1, I conveyed the reasoning of giving gravity back to Isaac Newton. I also said that I would correct his flawed reasoning that gravity is a pulling force. In the introduction video, I stated that I wanted to do some videos on other processes. Nothing falls, the moon and tides, day and night, the seasons, breathing, DNA and the growing process, and death and decay, and others. I also said that you would only need to understand the first 2 videos. Everything is an element of elements, and Gravity and the Gravity Interlock, which is now 2 parts, to understand the universe. If you only need the first 2 videos, then that would mean that all the other processes should fit as a single circular process, one that encompasses all the processes, plus many other ones too. They all must be a part of one process. Now take for instance, the growing process would incorporate the same characteristics as the process for the moon and tides. The moon and tides should have the same characteristics as the day and night, seasons, and breathing process. And death and decay would also fit into the circular pattern as well. These are all the same. It's just nature. So there must be one simple process that would encompass all these processes. This is where gravity and the gravity interlock come in. We know that billions of years ago, the original elements, all 90 of them, got blown out of a star when it exploded. That's how they were created. The elements were in space for a long time. Some of these elements got close to another star, and something grabs a hold of them and holds them in a circular pattern around the star. As the elements circle the star's light constantly bombards the elements and causes them to vibrate. They vibrate, they produce waves that expand outwards. As the waves expand outwards, they slow down. The waves still emanating from the element catch up with the waves that are slowing down. This causes a pileup. This pileup is called an aura. There are many examples of vibrations producing waves that catch slower ones. Sonic booms, when planes go faster than the speed of sound, there is a boom. Waves catching up with slower waves. As you speak, your voice box vibrates. This creates waves that slow down in your mouth. And we are able to manipulate these waves into sounds that we use to talk to each other. Waves overtaking slower waves. Dropping a stone in a pond is a visual way to see expanding waves overtaking slower ones and piling up or ripple. This pile up, boom, or ripple is the description of an aura. Once an energy source, like the light of a star, comes in contact with an element, the element vibrates and an aura is created. All the elements circling the star would emanate an aura. Elements whose aura is constantly in an expanded state, like those circling a star, they're useless for creating life. Because each element's aura is expanded due to the constant light from the star, the elements would just bounce off each other. There would be nothing to hold or lock any of the elements together. Something needs to happen, and it does. Along comes a larger element, another remnant from an exploding star, and it is also caught in the star's aura. It circles the star just like all the other elements. When this larger element gets between the elements and the star, it blocks the light from the elements. When the light is blocked from hitting the elements, the vibrations cease and their auras contract. While the elements' auras are contracting, the auras of other elements that are close by stick or lock with other auras. When this larger element stops blocking the light from the star, the element's auras expand. The auras of the elements that lock together create their own aura. The change that was needed for the elements to stick together was for their auras to contract when the light was blocked and they locked together. This is called the gravity interlock. It is at this point, when the auras interlock, that gravity is created, which means that gravity does not exist until a gravity interlock happens. Once gravity is created, what is it? Well, gravity is a resonance, which means vibrations reflecting from a surface, like an echo, within the interlocking auras of elements. It doesn't matter which elements interlock. All gravity interlocks create gravity. And because the gravity interlocks come and go with the expanding and contracting of the elements' auras, this means that gravity is superficial. The interlocking auras reflect each other's waves back and forth. And this scenario works with every process in the circle. The rebounding resonance prevents the auras from collapsing, at least for a while. Eventually, the auras will dissipate, causing the release of the elements. This is the death and decay process. When auras interlock, the elements form another larger element with its own aura. This aura is able to lock with other auras. This is DNA and the growing process. The expanding and contracting process is indicative of the day and night, the seasons, breathing. Because only gravity interlocks create gravity, there is no falling process. Nothing falls, which inherently means there is no pulling process. As we understand that everything is an element of elements and that the expanding and contracting of the elements, auras, initiate the gravity interlock, which creates gravity, then we can see that the universe is really just a simple mechanism. Then this simple mechanism can mimic every process in the universe on a large computer system. It must be a system larger than my home computer because the universe has a 13 billion year head start through evolution. Acquiring a large computer system is the goal of these videos. All we need is a sticky algorithm to emulate the gravity interlock. I have a rudimentary sticky algorithm, but that's for another video. I won't cover that here. All this is simple because it stands to reason. Now, the next video, number 3, Nothing Falls, the Moon and Tides, it really is exciting because we get into gravity negation, and that is really cool. As you can see how simple the universe is in the following videos, this all becomes much clearer. But remember, the first 2 videos is all you need. I'm Dan. This is Stands to Reason, and welcome to Longevity. Thank you.